Hey, Amanda, how's it going?
Doing well, Charlene. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's 2025. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New
And
Year.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I can't believe it's 2025 and our first video of the year.
First video of the year, and we have breaking news. Amanda's going to tell you all about it, but in the meantime, I'll introduce myself. I am Charlene Williams. I work with Real Estate Homeward, been a broker for probably 16 years now that we've changed to 2025. And I'm excited. And with us, we have Amanda Pivar, who is our lovely mortgage broker, and she's going to tell herself all about it.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the introduction. As Charlene said, my name is Amanda Pivar. I am a mortgage broker with Mortgage Connection, which is part of DLC, and I have been for the last 11 years. And as Charlene said, we have some cool news for everyone who owns a home right now.
I'm
So
excited.
yes. So I think the biggest problem everyone's had the last 2 years is monthly payment, keeping it affordable, cash flow. Thankfully, we've actually seen a pretty big decrease in our fixed interest rates over the last few months that people are actually able to break their mortgages, pay the penalty, and get into a lower interest rate to help with cash flow, but more importantly, save thousands of dollars on interest. So I've really been talking to a lot of my clients who close mid 2023 to mid 2024, that is a sweet spot of people saving thousands of dollars. And I'm not talking one or two. Most of my clients on average are saving about 67,000 in interest and increasing their monthly cash flow by about $500 a month, which is great in this economy where everything is so expensive.
Everything is so expensive, but the good news is that well, that's one good news. Second good news I heard on the news today is that we're getting $200 from Doug Ford. Isn't that amazing?
I will take the $200 and appreciate that for sure. So
Right? But so getting back to this breaking your mortgage. Now, some people have some people will have penalties that
yep.
how would they deal with that?
Yeah. So a couple things about the penalties. So in the past, when we've talked about penalties, we've always talked about the banks having these very, very large penalties that make it very hard to get out of your mortgage. Well, what happened over the couple of years of these higher interest rates is the post-it rates were not much higher than where the fixed rates were. So the discounts that the banks were giving were a lot lower than we normally see. We'll normally see about a 2 to 3% discount. And what I mean by that is if you have a post rate of 7%, but a rate of 5%, that's a discount of 2%. And when you pay your penalty, that 2% comes into play. Having these 0.5 and in some cases lower discounts, we're actually seeing the banks in negative IRD. So that's interest rate differential that all these mortgages are automatically only 3 months interest to break. So when we're running scenarios for a client, we're first figuring out what the penalty is, and then we're figuring out how much the interest is saved to see if it makes sense. In most of my clients' scenarios, their penalty is paid for within the first 6 to 7 months with the interest that's being saved, and the rest is just gravy and money in pocket.
Money in pocket is good. So when we're talking that they are having to pay a penalty, let's say for example it's 3,000. Is it ever that low?
Sometimes it really depends on your loan amount and what your interest rates are. Now, the penalties can be rolled into the mortgage.
That's
So,
the question I was
yes,
going to ask you.
yes, good question. So, it is rolled in. So, when I'm running my scenarios on what your new monthly payment looks like and your interest rate, I am calculated with that penalty rolled in.
Okay, rolled into your new mortgage.
That's correct. Yes.
And yeah, that was the question that I was going to ask. Are you actually physically taking 3,000 out of your pocket and giving it to them? But no, you're saying it's rolled in.
In majority. Now, some clients who maybe don't have the equity available to do so, they are paying some out of pocket. Most people, though, I'm finding have the equity to do so, that they're not coming out of pocket.
Mhm.
Even some of my clients who had to come out of pocket $1,000 or $2,000 borrowed it from line of credit because realistically, within 4 months of saving that $600 a month, you can pay back the money that they had to borrow and still be far, far ahead.
That's amazing. Ah, wow. It's a huge savings, right?
A huge savings, but it's also a strategy. So, and what
Yes.
some of my other clients are doing is they're taking advantage of the fact that these rates are so much lower. They're okay with how their payments are right now. So they're actually keeping their monthly payments as is and having that extra five, $600 go towards the principal every month and save on their overall interest of the mortgage and pay their mortgage off sooner.
Wow, that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Never even thought of that. So you're able to give your clients all these options, which works out to help them in the end.
Absolutely. So the one thing that I think really differentiates a broker like myself from the bank is when we have a client, they're a client for life. I'm not transactional, whereas the banks are. So we're constantly watching our clients' mortgages. We're looking at, hey, who's closed? Who can we save monies? And then one of my favorite parts of my job is sending out an email saying, I think I found you 7 grand of interest to save. Let's have a call and go through how we can do this. And that's something that really, really differentiates a broker from a bank. And it's something that Charlene, any of your clients that maybe closed with a bank in the last, 2 years, now's a great time for them to involve a broker to see if they can save some money.
Wow, I will definitely keep that in mind and go through my client list and see who's been in there that in that little pocket there that you can maybe help.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love to get a call? Hey, send me your mortgage statement and let's see if we can save you money. And it's not like we're saving a couple $100. Most cases, we're saving 5, 6,000.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so anything else going on? I know everybody's waiting for the Bank of Canada announcement on the 29th, I believe it is.
It's coming up. It'll be here before we know it because January is going so fast. And it's going to be very interesting. I mean, we saw the employment numbers come out and they were actually a lot better than we were predicting they would be. The job market really picked up in December. Now, it's also December. There's a lot of people who are working, occasional or on a contract to get through the holiday season of pushing out presents or events, things like that. Doesn't mean that the layoffs did not happen in January. It'll be
Right.
interesting to see how the bank reacts to the very strong December numbers and how much they lower it by. But it will be even more interesting to see what the January numbers actually look like.
Yeah, I'm watching it very closely. That and the election and the new liberal leader and it there's a lot going on right now in terms of well in Ontario for sure but also in terms of being in Toronto proper. I mean the mayor wants to raise property taxes again this year, second consecutive year in a row.
0.9%, which is another reason we are reaching out to a lot of our clients who closed in the last 2 years because it's not a small change. Their property taxes went up 10% this year. They're going for another 6.9. The average family, that is really cutting into their household budget and not something they can afford. So if we can help them on the mortgage side by lowering the monthly payment to kind of offset that increase, we would like to.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing thing if you can do that for some people. I also know what was I watching the other day that in terms of oh, I can't even remember the payments that we have to make. Oh yes, I was watching it earlier. They're in talks to extend the HST holiday for us.
I
So
haven't heard that, but I would love that.
I mean, it didn't really affect me, but um, it affects other people, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I know the last month when I've gone to the grocery store, I'm not as shocked as I had been in the last couple of years. So that would be nice if they extended it, but it'd be
I
nice.
just wish they would include like everyday products that we use,
Yeah.
like toilet paper and paper towels and Kleenex and that sort of stuff, like dishwashing soap, all of
Right.
those things that we use on the regular. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
The things that we could be stocking up on right now.
right? Anyways, I guess that's what Costco's for. But anyways, thank you very much, Amanda. Are you getting busy then?
You're definitely getting busy. I normally January, it's a slow start. I don't think it actually quieted down from
Yeah.
December to now. The amount of clients that are reaching out for pre-approvals, we haven't actually seen this time of year normally. Excellent, excellent indication that we're going to have a very strong 2025. I think one more rate drop, which we'll see on the 29th, fingers crossed. I think will really push us into a very busy spring market and maybe even the end of winter market.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I didn't have any time off in December at all. I was busy. And then, yeah, coming up to this current market that we're in and spring, I think is going to be very, very busy.
I
Your prediction, is it 0.25 or is it 0.50?
think it's 2.5. I I hope I'm wrong on that, but after seeing the employment numbers that did come out that shows that the job market is getting a little stronger, I think it will be 0.25. We still need inflation numbers to come out next week, but even with those, even if it's around 2%, I still think it'll be 0.25.
Okay. I mean, I do agree with you there. I think it will be 0.25 as well.
Yeah, better than nothing.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's better than staying the same. So we've got 8 announcements this year, and we think that there's going to be a couple of holds in there, and then the rest are rate drops. I don't think they're going to be pushing up the rate at all.
I don't think so. I'm predicting a 1% drop this year. It's very interesting though, because the big five are very spread on what their
They are.
predictions are. You have Scotiabank at 3%, which is not surprising to anyone. They are a little bit more on the conservative side. But then you have other banks who are predicting as low as a 2% overnight rate. So it's quite the spread and it's anyone's guess at this point. And I think there's too many wild cards to be making really educated and informed guess.
Right. And just for anybody listening, our current rate is 4 point
The
the
current
overnight rate.
think you just stumped both of us on it. The current prime is 4.45. The open,
Okay. That
yep.
works. That works. I think it was 4.6 the last time I looked at it. So that is 3 is definitely in the cards. I don't know about 2. I don't know about 2.
I don't know. It will be very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? All we can do is hope. And the next time I see you, Amanda, we'll have a rate drop to discuss as well as what is going on in the market. But thanks for joining and thanks for the chat.
Yeah, anytime, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, and if you have any questions at all that I can help you with or Amanda, all of our information are in the show notes, and you can feel free to reach out. We've got a lot of products and tools to help